How's it going, guys? Welcome to my channel. This video is the first video of a video series where we're going to learn how to build a movies web application with React.js. So let me just give you an insight into the application that we'll be building. So as you can see, we will be building a movies application called Vato Movies. When it's time to watch an awesome movie, you will find only the best movies here. So as you can see, our application is going to have roots. So we will learn how to work with React Router so that we will be able to add movies to our watch list. So for example, let's say I add this movie, The Wizard, to the watch list. When we go and view our watch list, we can see that our watch list is now updated with The Wizard. And we also have a toggle button that's indicating that it is in the watch list. If we remove it from the watch list and we go and view our watch list again, we can see that now we have no movies in our watch list. So each section of this website we're going to be building individually into separate components. We're going to create a movies grid component for the layout of our movies. We're going to create a movie card component for each movie. You can also see that each movie has its own rating, and the ratings are colored either red for bad, green for good, and orange for an okay rating. And the application is also going to have a fully functioning search functionality. So for example, let's say we wanted to search the word Vato to see if there's any Vato movies in our application. And as you can see, we pick up Mexican Vatos. So you can see that our search functionality is working. If I search, for example, let's say army. Okay, I'm not picking up anything in army. Let's search soldier. So as you can see, we're picking up movies with the word soldier. If I change the rating to good movies or okay movies, so there's no okay movies in this genre. If I change the genre to documentary and we remove the word soldier, we can see that we're picking up The Portal, which is a documentary and it has an okay rating. If I look for good documentaries, I'm picking up all the movies which have a green rating, which is basically a good rating. So as you can see, the search functionality is working, and it's working with the drop down menu for the specific genre and a specific rating, and everything gets updated according to our search criteria. So let me just refresh the application now. And basically that is now an overview of the application that we're going to build. So by the end of this tutorial series, you should have a full understanding of how to build a movies web application using React.js, and you will also have a complete application that you can add to your portfolio. You can use that to apply for jobs as a front-end web developer, and this application can help you out in becoming a professional React developer. So now you need to make sure that you have Node.js installed on your system. So you can head over to nodejs.com Node.org, and you can download Node.js over here and then install it on your system. So to check if you have Node.js installed, you can run your command prompt in Windows or your terminal in Mac, and you're gonna type node-v, and you should get a version. So as long as you are getting a version, then you will know that Node.js is installed on your system. Once you have made sure of your Node.js installation, you can create a folder where we're going to store your React.js applications. So I created a folder called Vato, and inside this Vato folder now, I'm going to run a terminal window. So in Windows, you would just select the URL in the file explorer, and then you would type in cmd, and that would open a terminal window for you. So I changed my terminal to blue, so don't get confused by the color of the terminal. It's just a normal command prompt terminal. You could also use git bash to do this, or you could use terminal on Mac. And the first thing that we need to do now is we need to type npx create react app. So just like that, and then we're going to give our app a name. So Vato underscore movies. So from the latest versions of React now, we cannot use capital letters when we're naming our applications. So make sure that everything is lowercase, and you can press enter. So once you press enter now, React will start installing this application. As you can see now, it's installing the React DOM and React scripts. And basically now we can just leave React to do its thing. So I'm just going to pause the video for now, and I'll be back when the application is ready. All right. So React has now completed the installation. And if you go back to your folder that you created now, you should find a new folder called Vato Movies. So now you can open up Visual Studio Code, and then we're going to take our Vato Movies folder and we're going to drag it into Visual Studio Code. So now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go and have a look at the package.json file. So in this file now, we're going to find our dependencies and the versions of the dependencies. So it's very important now that you take down these dependencies over here along with the versions, and you copy it exactly as you see it from my package.json file. So the reason that we're doing this now is because React is always updating. And as you can see that now we are on React version 19. So to make sure that you can follow this tutorial without any problems, you need to make sure that we have all the same versions. So once you have taken down all the versions now, the next step that you need to do is you're going to delete the node modules folder in the file explorer. So over here where you see node modules now, you're going to right click and you're going to delete it. Okay, so that's just going to take some time now. So while that's deleting, you can also delete the package-lock.json file. So let's delete that as well. And let's just give that some time to delete now. Okay, so now everything has been deleted. The node modules folder has been deleted and the package lock JSON file has been deleted. So what we're going to do now is open up our terminal. So we're going to head over to view and then terminal. So over here now, we're going to run npm install. Okay, so it's just npm install, and then we're gonna let that install now. So once the installation is complete, you should see now that you have a new node modules folder and a new package-lock.json file. So this means now that your application has the same versions as my application, and now we can start developing our React application Vato Movies. So the first thing that we need to do now is we are going to need the resources of the application. So in the description down below, there's a link to a GitHub repository that I created, which contains the resources for the Vato Movies web application. So what you will need to do is head over to the GitHub repository, download the zip file by clicking on code and then downloading the zip file. Once you have the zip file, you're going to extract it and you're going to see a Vato Movies main folder. Inside the folder, you will find a resources folder. So once you find this resources folder now, you're going to go into the resources folder and you're going to find an images folder, a fave icon, which is going to be called fave.png, a logo. You will find a JSON file in the folder called movies.json and a styles.css file. So what we need to do now is we're going to take the images, the fave icon, the logo, and our movies.json file. We're going to copy those files. Then we're going to head over to our project folder, Vato Movies. And inside the public folder now, we're going to paste what we copied. Then we're going to go back to the resources folder. We're going to copy styles.css. And styles.css now needs to go into the src folder of the application. So make sure that you paste styles.css into the src folder. So now you should have all the files that are required to follow along with this tutorial. As you can see, these are the image files, which are the movies that I created for the application. So creating these movies took me quite a long time. I sat here basically and I created each movie using AI. So each movie was generated using AI, and I basically gave a creative prompt for the AI to generate each of these movie covers so that we can build an awesome application with custom movies. So now the first thing that we need to do is we're going to head over to our source folder. And in the source folder now, we're going to start building our first component. So right click the source folder and create a new folder. and you're going to name this folder components. So now we're going to create our first component by right clicking on the components folder and creating a new file, and we're going to call this file now header.js. So here we're going to be creating a header component now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to import React from React. And then we're going to import our styles. So over here now, we're going to enter the directory for our styles.css file. So we need to add 2 dots because we need to go out to another folder, because styles.css is it's out of the components folder and it's inside the source folder. All right, so once we've imported that, now we're going to export a default function, and we're going to call this function header with a capital H. Okay, open curly braces, and inside here now we're going to return. So inside here now we're gonna return a div, and this div is going to have a class name of header with a small h now, because this is referring to header in our styles.css file. So we're referring to this header now. So once we've done that now, so inside here now we're gonna create an image, and this is gonna be for our logo. So we're gonna create an image with a class name of logo, and src is gonna equal to, so it's gonna be logo.png, and it's important that we add an alt text. So this is the text that will display if the image is not found in the folder. So we can call it Vato Movies logo. And here we can just add a self-closing tag, because that's how we can do it in React. And over here now we're going to create an h2 tag, and we're going to give it a class name of add subtitle. And over here now we're going to add in our slogan, we can call it. So when it's time to watch an awesome movie, you will find only the best movies here. All right, make sure that you add a semicolon over, not over there, over here. And what we can do now is we can open the terminal again. So once you open your terminal, let's just close that one over there. So in the terminal now, you're going to type npm start, and this is the command to start our React application if you have never started a React application before. So that should take some time now to run, depending on your system. Okay, so the development server is starting up now. Let me just open up my browser. Okay, so I copied and pasted the URL localhost 3000 into my browser now, because my one opens up in a separate browser window, and I'm always using Chrome in incognito mode, because that's how the Vatos do it. Okay, but anyway, once you see the logo now, we know that React is installed and it's functioning now. So now what we need to do is let's go back to Visual Studio Code. You can just close this terminal for now. So if you press this X button over here, you're basically just closing the terminal. And if you press this bin icon over here, then you're killing the terminal, which means you will close your application. So don't close your application, just close the terminal basically by pressing X over here. And once you've done that, now we need to head over to app.js. So in our app.js file now, this is the main file that's basically running the application. So when you view localhost 3000, which is also index.html, this is basically the code that is managing what you are seeing on the screen. So when we go back to our application now, if we remove the code for the header over here and we just leave it like this, now when we go back to our application, we can see that now the React logo that was spinning around is now gone. So inside here now, we're gonna start writing the code to bring in our header. So if we go back to header.js, you can see that we created a function called header. And now when we go to app.js, we need to first make sure that we're going to import it in app.js. So import header, and then you can just press your tab key and it should add in from components header. And basically now we can remove this header code over here. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna create another div with a container, because basically in modern web development, we always code our headers, and basically any component that we code now, we add it in a container. So that's basically the modern way to do it now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a div over here, and we're going to give it a class name of container. So in this container class now, we're going to add in our header function now, which is actually our header component. So now, if you do not have the autosave function enabled, you can press Ctrl S. And also, I'm going to show you how to install some useful React extensions after we build this header component. And when you press Ctrl S, it will automatically format your code for you as well. So for now, let's go and have a look at our application, and we should see the Vato logo for Vato Movies and our slogan that says, when it's time to watch an awesome movie, you will find only the best movies here. So up until this point now, you have successfully built your first component in React.js, and that is the header component. And in the next video now, we will continue to build our footer component, and then we need to create our movies grid, a component for our movies grid, and then a movie card component, and then we're going to start building in the functionality for our React app. So I'm going to structure this tutorial series into videos so that everything is structured nicely and you can understand it, instead of putting all the videos into one long video. So I hope that you were able to build your first component in React. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos like this. We're going to be developing together, and together we're going to become professional React developers by the end of this series. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.